Oh, I've just walked up Belabia, which is a hill near Marquinez. Absolutely beautiful views, although you can't see anything here because it's surrounded by trees. And welcome to this week's Weekly English Practice from English Coaching Projects.
Hello and welcome to the Weekly English Practice from English Coaching Projects.
This week's Weekly English Practice talks about getting old and the possibility of getting Alzheimer's and what we can do during our younger lives to perhaps prevent, avoid getting Alzheimer's, or if we do get it, it's quite possible, how to make our life better even though we do have it. I'm going to talk about 5 habits that I've summarized as sleep. One is to sleep well, get good night's sleep. One is to learn new things every day. Another one is to eat healthily, exercise regularly, and be at peace with yourself and with those around you. I love you all. Read the article, listen to the article, and then at the end look at the questions and give your opinions and your ideas about the questions, and send them by email, by a WhatsApp. Record your voice in WhatsApp or in a recording app on your phone, and chat to your colleagues, your ECP coach, your friends and your family about the ideas. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great weekend. Have a great life. Have a great, I don't know. See you now. Bye. Five habits to live better and fight Alzheimer's. In his last week English practice for English Coaching Projects, Coach Rob talks about following the advice of experts and his father-in-law to improve his quality of life as he gets older. What tips did they give him? When Eduardo Anitua received the Medalla de Álava for his lifelong contributions to medicine last month, he gave a thought-provoking acceptance speech. In the last 60 years, our society has been able to extend life expectancy by over 25 years. Many of us who are here today would already be living on borrowed time. The challenge we have now is to improve the quality of those additional years, explained the renowned investigator who holds over 50 international patents. I was watching the speech on my phone at my elderly mother and father-in-law's home while waiting for Gladys, their living carer, to dress Vittori, aged 87, and for Jose Mari, aged 85, to put his hearing aids in. We were off to see my mother-in-law's neurologist to speak about her moderately severe Alzheimer's and if her medication needed changing. Jose Mari is still in relatively good health, but caring for Vittori is exhausting. His unreserved love for her means that he does it unquestioningly. When Dr. Anitua stated that our habits both build us and destroy us, it reminded me of another talk, a TED talk that I had watched some years ago by neuroscientist Laura Geneva, in which she gave some tips on how to combat Alzheimer's disease and live a better life. Two things she spoke about have stuck in my mind ever since: amyloid plaques and synapses. Firstly, most scientists agree that an important contributing factor to the onset of Alzheimer's is the accumulation of amyloid plaques in the brain, and that we can help the body eliminate them by sleeping well and by looking after our cardiovascular health. Secondly, we should build what is termed a cognitive reserve of neural connections, or synapses, in our brains. We inevitably lose synapses as we age, but if we have a larger reserve to fall back on, we will be able to remember more things. We can do this by constantly learning new, unfamiliar skills, such as handicrafts, dancing, and languages. My father-in-law is not a scientist, but as he has far more experience of life than either Dr. Anitua or Laura Geneva, I asked him for a single piece of advice that he would give young people. After a moment's thought, he said, "Read a good book that contains good advice." And he promptly took Svivo Bruks's The Art of Good Living off the bookshelf and handed it to me. "Read this," he told me. It contains some great advice about creating habits that can lead to a healthier and happier life. I'm not a spring chicken anymore. I'm 53. So I've decided to follow all this advice by focusing on 5 good habits. It's all basic common sense, really, and there's nothing new under the sun here. And the acronym I've invented for them is SLEEP. S. Sleep well. Get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. The better you sleep, the more amyloid plaques you will eliminate. L. Learn new things. Create new neural connections by reading and enjoying new hobbies while making new friends. E. Eat healthily. The famous Mediterranean diet is a great guide here, but allow yourself occasional treats that break the rules. E. Exercise regularly. Aerobic exercise improves cardiovascular health. Go for regular walks and enjoy the fresh air. P. Be at peace with yourself and those around you. Be sociable, help others, and live every day to the fullest extent you can. Putting all these good ideas into practice isn't easy, of course, but I'm giving it a go. I try to resist the temptation of reading or watching TV series until late and attempt to get 8 hours of sleep every night. Perhaps the hardest thing to do. I keep an eye on what and how much I eat, and I go for a walk in the country at least twice a week. For the last 6 months, I have written a journal which helps me reflect on my life and recall past events and experiences. But my biggest step is going to be returning to university to study a tourism degree. After 12 years of intense activity at English coaching projects, I will now dedicate most of my time to learning a new profession and helping to look after my elderly in-laws. Both will be new, enriching experiences. So thank you, John, Kez, Ali, and Darren for making English coaching projects the amazing experience it has been. And thank you to all my students, present and past, for putting up with me in class and teaching me so much about the world. I wish you all the best of luck in everything you do. And here are this week's questions. Do you consider yourself to be a spring chicken? Why? Why not? Does anyone in your family have a carer? Are you a carer? What do you know about Alzheimer's disease? Give us 3 pieces or more of good advice about anything. Recommend a book of any type and explain why you'd like it. If you could do any kind of job in the world, what would it be?